Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I am so excited to be back with my friends from Beach Injury Lawyers, Will and Greg. Always great to have you on the show.
As always, we appreciate you having us on.
Good morning, Katie.
It's spooky season, y'all.
It is.
It is.
So we're going to be talking about Halloween safety and what our viewers need to know to make sure that your children are safe as well as your home.
Yeah, I mean, you can always tell the season because we'll receive certain calls, and you know the calls that you absolutely hate are the ones involving children.
Yeah.
They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible, and you know you'll see an increase in calls on Halloween for children being struck by cars or something along those lines. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide it up in like three areas. We're going to talk about homeowner safety, pedestrian safety, and driver safety. So homeowner safety. If you leave your lights on outside for Halloween, you are literally inviting people to come onto your property to participate in trick-or-treating. So if you're going to invite people, again, if you don't want people coming, turn your lights off. Turn your lights off. You'll still get that occasional knock, but if you turn your lights on, then you're really inviting people to come onto the property. And if you're going to invite people to come on the property, you need to make sure that the property is safe.
And that you have candy.
And yeah, I know. Don't run out in the
detail, folks.
Don't run out in the first 30 minutes.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that there's no hidden dangers on the property. That there's no holes, there's no ropes that are that you can't see that people are gonna. There was an example of that. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say if you order food or order something from a service, you need to turn the lights on. So there's a flip side to that. We had an injury case where the person was invited to deliver a product, and it was nighttime and there was no lights anywhere, and the person saw the big inflatables and there was a little bit of light from the inflatable but nowhere else, and they missed the little rope with the tent stake, and it caused massive injuries. And so there's a flip side to it, that if you're going to invite somebody on your property, you also make sure you keep it lit.
Yeah, if you've got crazy decor too. If you have anything that's gonna jump out or trip over,
Yeah, I had one of those on the boulevard where one of the stores had someone that would run after people, and well, they ran after the wrong person who was actually very scared and fell and got hurt pretty bad. I was with Mr. Mike Kelly from our former show, and that was the case we had. Yeah. So.
I mean, years ago there was some sort of animatronic or robot type witch, and some guy had done it himself, and a child walked up and grabbed it. Well, it wasn't grounded, and the child was electrocuted as a result of that. So if you're going to invite people, especially children, onto your property, just please make sure that that it's safe. Now, in terms of pedestrian safety, if you're going to walk around on Halloween, please don't have your phone in your face, because you need to be watching the children. But kids, the same thing. Don't have your phone stuck in your face so that you can't see what's going on, that you're going to walk in front of a car, and something really, really bad is going to happen if you do that. And then in terms of driver safety,
I was going to say first, just turn the flashlight on and turn it around and use it for good. Driver safety, be extra careful. If you're on a bike, make sure you have reflective tape. If you're driving and someone doesn't have reflective tape, you just have to be very, very cautious. Some safer, we can give you the whole, make sure you get your candy x-rayed and all that. All that is really good ideas. I wouldn't take anything homemade from anyone. Unfortunately, we're in a point in time where I wouldn't do that. But there are options. Market Common has 5 to 7. Their stores do candy give outs. There's one down at Marsh Walk. But in terms of driver safety, I would say just be extremely careful. People are dressed differently. It's just a weird night.
It's a night of tricks and treats.
Yes.
Of course. All right, guys. Thank you all for the tips. But coming up after the break, we're going to be doing my favorite segment, What's New in the Law, but it's What's Old in the Law. So stick with us. Well, welcome back to Living Local Carolina, everyone. I've been chatting with the guys from Beach Injury Lawyers, giving some Halloween tips, but now we're going to be doing my favorite segment, What's Not So New in South Carolina Law.
And I love putting these. We love putting these.
I
lists
bet you guys
together.
do love it.
It's a
We
lot
do
of
this for
fun.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We do.
Because I love reading these, and I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to go ahead. This first one on the list is hilarious. Horses may not be kept in bathtubs.
Why is
I
that?
have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I don't really think it's y'all's job to really say why these laws.
know.
I think that we just want to educate the people, right?
But we have to remember that they were put in place in response to something.
Yeah.
There was a horse in a bathtub.
There's a horse in a bathtub
at one
somewhere,
point, and
right.
something bad happened. So for obvious reasons,
Seems like a bad idea.
That's
I would
like,
just bathe my horse outside.
That's like in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. Horses are to wear pants at all times. Again, I got nothing.
Fountain Inn.
I got
Please
nothing.
write into the show.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Yeah, please tell us why. It's also
right.
illegal to sell musical instruments on Sunday. Also silverware,
Okay.
which that makes sense.
Yeah, of
Not-
course. Duh.
Well, not really, but okay.
I'm always looking to buy a new instrument on Sundays, but goodness.
Why don't you take the next one, Katie? This is a good
All
one.
right. Firing a missile cannot be done without a permit.
You just
You just got to go talk to the city and get a permit, I guess.
Okay, of
you actually
course,
have to
of
go to
course.
the South Carolina Aeronautics Commission.
Why do you know that?
I don't know. I read that. I am full
It's
of
like, are you
useless.
trying to fire off a
I am
missile?
so full
know
of
the
useless
process.
information.
Okay, okay.
If you inadvertently kill another person while attempting suicide, you can be charged with a capital crime.
Okay.
That just would suck all around.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just in general.
It's just
And
in
to
order-
make things worse, the next one on their list is awful. It's husbands are allowed to beat their wives, but only on Sunday and only on the steps of the courthouse.
Nothing says Jesus like beating your wife on Sunday.
Happy Sunday, folks.
when I read that to my wife,
What'd she say?
the look I got was not very good. It was sort of like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
It's probably the same look that I was having whenever I read it for the first time.
I think you're right.
All right, what's next?
We skipped one, but in order
Oh,
to
did I
read
skip one?
someone's fortune, you must have a permit in South Carolina.
Ooh, I have some tarot cards.
Better go get that.
What
my
permit.
God.
about
I
the
wanna-
Chinese restaurants? I don't know.
I don't know. I was gonna say, I'm a big fan of those.
In Lancaster, it's illegal to dance in public.
Doesn't that just make you want to do it more?
It should be
Oh,
for
absolutely.
me, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
That might be a weekend trip to make.
And we've been talking about this ever since they got here, but
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
watermelon law.
Yeah, take this one.
Go for it.
In Spartanburg, it is against the law to eat watermelon in the Magnolia Street Cemetery. The origins of this law stem from the train station located nearby. People who were changing trains would buy watermelon from a vendor and go to the cemetery to sit on the headstones and eat, leaving the fruit rinds and seeds scattered around. Now, listen, I understand that they were littering, whoever was leaving these seeds, but Miguel brought this up to me that
Fertilizer.
wouldn't it just, go
Fertilizer.
right back into the earth?
Well, apparently the folks that are housed at the Magnolia Street Cemetery did not like it. So
Oh,
it's the only thing I can think of.
less watermelon plants for them, I suppose. All right, what's next? What's
ahead,
next?
Will.
Well, I was really surprised to learn that it's illegal for pedestrians to jump in front of a moving car. Sometimes you just
Don't do
gotta-
that.
Yeah, just don't.
Don't do that.
Just don't.
Oh, you like this next one?
I've been laughing about this one. It's illegal to occupy a mobile home when it is being transported on a public road. So, somebody had to be
Of course.
in the house while it was going down the road. They're either sleeping or, I can't imagine. They would have had to have been sleeping or laying on the couch or something. And it was probably an accident. And lo and behold, this person is in the mobile home. So, the General Assembly a number of years ago said, we think we need a law that prevents people from living in a mobile home while it's being transported on a public road.
I just don't think you should be able to transport them.
No.
Because I hate getting behind them. So, sorry. That's just.
And lastly, you can be fined for not denouncing the evils of intemperance on the fourth Friday of every October. Dun, dun, dun.
Again, you got me on that one.
Budweiser commercials, no. No
Yeah,
good,
I
no
don't know.
good.
I don't know about that one, folks. All right, you're gonna have to find some more of these
Supposed to
laws
drop the
because
mic, not-
I love doing this segment. So you're gonna have to keep digging for me.
Absolutely, we'll do.
We'll do it.
All right, well, guys, after the break, we're going to be hearing from Megan Michael from Habitat for Humanity of Horry County. So stick with us. Well, thanks for sticking with us today on Living Local Carolina. I've been talking with the guys from Beach Injury Lawyers, Will and Greg. We've been in the studio, and now we have a special guest, Megan Michael from Habitat for Humanity. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I love having you on the show. Obviously, you know these guys from Beach Injury Lawyers, but tell me a little bit about what you do and what's new with Habitat.
Yeah, so my name is Megan Michael. I'm the executive director at Habitat for Humanity of Horry County. And what we do at Habitat is we bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And that's a lot of different things. So we have our home buyer program, we have a home repair program, we do advocacy with our local government, our state and federal government, and we also do neighborhood revitalization, which is more community organizing. And then you may have been to our Restore. Our Restore is a wonderful place to shop where you can find those really wonderful treasures that have been repurposed by people who have donated those to our stores for sale, and all of that money goes back into the mission. So a lot that we do, we can break it down into individual programs, and I'd love to tell you more about our home buyer program.
Yes, please tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we serve working families in Horry County who are deserving of a decent place to live, and we are a home ownership organization. So what that means is that we provide home ownership opportunities to people who are our workforce in Horry County. It's really hard to be able to afford a house in Horry County right now, and a lot of people who work really hard every day to feed their family and support themselves just aren't. It's not an option.
What did you tell me? It was a helping hand?
A hand up and not a hand out.
Right.
Ooh, I like that.
I thought it was really
Everything that we do is in partnership. So we partner with families. They do 300 sweat equity hours. They swing hammers and lay floors and put siding on. And by the time that they close on their house, they have essentially they know how to build a home.
That's so cool.
Which is such an empowering thing. If you think about
Yeah.
purchasing a home, not many of us also built that home.
Oh, yeah.
And so while they're also doing that sweat equity, they're taking financial education. And so they're meeting every month with a cohort of families in the same situation as them. And they are learning what it means to make a budget, to tell your dollars where they're going to go, because those dollars aren't going to come back and tell you where they went. And so by the time that they close on their home with a mortgage that they can afford, they are also have the tools to be able to make really wise financial decisions with that asset that that they have purchased.
Well, you're giving them the tools to do it, too. That's so cool. I can't even imagine, whenever you built your own home, having people over be like, yeah, I laid that floor.
Yeah.
I would feel really proud of myself.
You told me a
Exactly.
story where someone sold their home back to Habitat, right?
Yes.
Really?
And that is such a beautiful story because this has happened a few times. We have a family who went through the program, purchased their home, raised their kids in that home, and then when they've decided that they want to go purchase something else, in this case, the family wanted to move to a different city, and they called up Habitat and said, we would like to sell this house back to Habitat. Even though they didn't get the highest market value, we still got pretty close to getting the market value for their house. And they were able to invest back into the thing that really changed their life. And so those are win-win situations because the families took what we gave them, they multiplied from it, they built their wealth from it, and then they were able to walk away with enough to go and participate in the open market. And they were also able to give back to their community, which is something that I think just naturally becomes instilled in families when they go through our program.
And speaking of, How can people who are watching right now help you guys out? What do you need?
We are building houses every single day.
Okay.
And so if there is someone listening who wants to learn a little bit about building houses, you can come out and volunteer on our construction site. It's a free construction education.
Cool.
And also, we are always looking for financial support to be able to pay for these houses that we build. You can go to HabitatOri.org, and all of our contact information is on there.
Perfect. And guys, of course, remind everybody how to get in contact with Beach Injury Lawyers.
Give us a call at 843-357-4111 or
On the World Wide Web, www.beachinjurylawyers.com or on IG.
The preceding portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers.